I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Let me see if I can explain this movie in a math equation. So Solo minus Solo is greater than Solo times more on that later. If you got that math equation, you're really, really good. I'm going to bring in somebody who hasn't been in here before. She just told me backstage that she's looking forward to being on the show when we review The Witch. I'm super excited that she said that because I didn't think that was her cup of tea, but clearly she's drinking it tonight and she's willing to join us next week for that. Chrissy, how are you doing?
I'm doing well rested. Happy to be back with you all.
Yeah, exactly. Did I get the movies right? Was it The Witch that you said you were excited for?
Maybe not. Who knows? I'll see how I feel later.
Yes. And to pay me back, she is going to make me sing some of these Disney songs that I claim to as we gear up, because tonight is the last of the Star Wars. Thank God, because the last few of them were utter trash, utter rectum trash. But we're gearing up into musicals for the month of July / the Disney Renaissance. That is 89 to 99. We're not talking about 1899, folks. Don't even act like they were Disney movies back then. We're talking about 1989, the good old days, to 1999, the good old days when Prince had that song that everybody listened to over and over and over again, January 1st, 1999. If you are alive and cognizant, you know what I'm talking about. We got somebody in the comments. What's up? Chris says hello early. I'm sorry, Christopher. He prefers Christopher. Let's get our other co-hosts in there. Here we have Kira, the queen of the, I can't see the end of it.
Curve.
Kira, the queen of the curve. That is accurate to this movie. We're talking about Solo tonight. If you've ever seen it, we are going to be spoilerific in this. Kira, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Now, listen, in that movie, you had a lot of jewels and gems and everything like that. Did you have any dragon eggs?
Unfortunately, no, but they would have been just as worthless as any gemstones harvested off of Earth. So,
wow. Yeah. Wow. I wonder what she thinks of this movie. Let us bring in the person who calls themselves the Emperor. They've embraced their destiny now. Full red kyber crystal lightsaber. And here we have Kanji. Kanji, how are you doing?
No, I'm sorry. I was force manipulated to do a anime over the weekend, and I changed my name, and I forgot to change it back. So let me go ahead and help everybody out, because, ladies and gentlemen, I am none other than the executive champion, as I once again won the UPR champion over the weekend. So 5-time UPR champion. Was that
fair and square, Chris?
Of course, it was fair and square. I said this. Well, actually, realistically speaking, a battle has to have two sides equally having a chance of winning. Anybody against me does not have an equal chance of winning. So I guess you're right. It was not fair and square. But it must be a pleasure for the three of you to be on with the champion that is me.
Before the show, we were just discussing how humble everyone is on the cast.
So I had to add some humility and some dignity to the show. What's going on, Matt Mad Dog Kelly? He'll be on the UPR with me this Saturday coming.
Hi, Matt.
All right, so we're
early because I have a flight, Matt. Early. It'll be like noon because I have a flight.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The show's on pause. They're talking about private conversation, and we're back. So tonight we're talking about Solo, as I said earlier, the last of the Star Wars film. This was supposed to be, I imagine, part of a trilogy, or as Disney likes to call it, 9 movies that we can make some money off of. But as it happens, you said, nah, it's not going to happen. So we only have literally Solo, an aptly named titled movie, but not Solo for that reason. Solo for another reason, named after Han Solo. Here's a quick synopsis as to what this movie is about. Again, spoilers. The origin story of the smuggler turned rebel general, famous for making the infamous Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. Okay? A lot of math, a lot of geeky stuff. Hence, the opening of the show. Solo minus Solo is greater than Solo times in the parentheses, because you got to time it the full method. Shout out to you, to my math teacher in ninth grade. He tried to teach me that in algebra, and I just said, is it time to go?
That's what we all said.
I need to count my check and to make sure you're not stealing from me. That's what I need to know. But respect to the math teachers out there. We salute you. The states don't, because they don't pay you anything, but I do. I appreciate you. Anyway, somebody has to be political. Vic is not here tonight. Vic is celebrating the birth of his lady love, tonight. I'm trying to be romantic because that's what
Can we
Victor
clean
wants.
that up? Can we clean that up because it sounds really pedophilish?
Yeah, maybe it's a touch.
No,
This is her
To
birthday. This is her
you.
birthday.
I know, but you
To
say
you.
The
Yeah.
birth of his
it
lady
sounded
love.
no. You can
To
say
you it does.
celebrating the
No,
birthday.
I definitely sensed it. I sensed a
It's
little
the
twinge.
birth.
Thank you.
Y'all must be
Thank you.
using the force.
Look,
Yeah, I don't know what y'all
look.
doing in y'all
Check this
head.
out.
This is Beyonce's birthday.
Yeah, his
Check this
fiance
out.
is a
Check this
grown
out,
woman
R. Kelly.
who
Check this
was
out, R.
born
Kelly.
on this day
I'm trying to
however
tell
many
you.
years ago. Her birth. It's celebrating her birth. That's
He
what a
said
birthday is.
conception.
Anyway, he
Oh
would
my-
have he
I
would have
gotta mute
appreciated me
myself.
trying to be romantic for him and his lady because I have respect for him. I've never met her, but I respect her on account of him because I assume he has good taste, which he does in this show, except when he's picking movies. More on that later. But salute to you, sir. We understand why you can't be here tonight. Now, this was nobody's pick. Surely, Chris made us watch it because he's a torturer behind the scenes. Does anybody like to go first, or would anybody like to go first as to what they liked about this movie?
I'll go because I did like a couple things about the movie. I'm not going to hold you. A couple things were really good. The scenes when Solo or Han Solo, he was trying to negotiate his way out of that. I forget. It was like he was right in front of like this alien priestess or queen, and he held the rock and he would make this the noise.
On Corellia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool scene. It shows like, you know, his like boyish charm, how he's very always ready to like get out of any situation. I thought that was very kind of true to the character. I enjoyed that scene. Okay. I enjoyed this little, you know, romance, quote unquote, between him and Kira. I thought it was, you know, very heartwarming. You know, they kind of grew up together, or at least struggled together through this horrible planet. Mm-hmm. And when they were separated at this, I'm going to call it an airport or a terminal, whatever it is. You know, I was sad about it. I said, okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen next. And when he was reunited with her, quote, you know, spoiler alert, you know, I was just excited for him because he was working that whole time. You know, he joined, you know, the army to try to, you know, fight his way back to rescue her. And he discovered her, which I thought was really, you know, heartwarming. Are we doing our least favorite, or are we waiting for that?
I have to in this show, but yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so my least favorite thing about the movie was the lack of a villain. I feel like there wasn't really a villain that you could pinpoint, and so it kind of really didn't feel like a complete story. It just felt like us just following this guy around kind of almost aimlessly, because there's really no villain for us to be like, okay, this is the bad guy, this is the protagonist, yada, yada, yada. With that being said, I do think that everyone, as far as acting wise, really did a good job of what they had. Like there was no performance that I feel like, okay, yeah, I don't believe it, this is, you know, BS. All the actors did really good with their characters. I think the fault is with the writing. Mm-hmm. Even Vision, I was excited to see Vision there. He's playing the, you know, quote unquote bad guy. And they had a lot of stars in this movie, like a lot of, you know, big names. So I will say it had so much potential, so much potential. It just kind of lost me with the lack of a true villain. Like I would say where I lost interest in the film, it was after Han met up with Chewbacca. Everything after that, I almost zoned out. I can't even tell you much about what happened, besides the fact that there was some kind of robot romance that felt a little weird. And, you know, who knows after that, honestly. But I'll let someone else go.
Okay. Kira or executive, who would like to go next? Or would you like me to? Okay. I agree with Chrissy. I did find the chemistry between the Solo character, obviously talking about Han Solo, and Kira's character to be believable. I believe that they had a history together, even though we see them as teenagers or early 20s, however old they're supposed to be. I did feel it when they were separated at BWI. Clearly, somebody had to stay in Baltimore. Somebody was getting to leave. If you've ever been to Baltimore at night, you understand why he was screaming, "Kira, no!" You know, and he was trying to get back because who knows what's going to happen in Baltimore. We're not at the harbor. This is Baltimore, okay?
Real Baltimore.
Salute to anybody who's watching from Baltimore. We appreciate you, but you know I'm telling the truth, right? So anyway, the escape from Baltimore on Corellia, I believed it, right? Another thing that I liked, again, and I'll give credit to this, I like that Kira didn't need, he thought he was going back to rescue her, quote unquote, because that's who she was at that point. She was a girl, I guess he was a boy, you know what I mean? And he still had that, to Chrissy's point, boyish, charm and mentality. Whereas Kira, whatever she went through, and I'm not making light of this part, had to be horrific enough to change her into the woman that we see however many years separate that is. I forget if they say it in the movie. I forget how many years apart that is, because she is more capable and more worldly, if we're going to, or whatever for the galaxy, you know what I mean, than him, because of the life that she had to live in that space in between. And even though it's a galaxy far, far away, I imagine, what's up, Dave? I imagine that still for a woman, it would still be harder, even though we don't really see that in the Star Wars universe. If it's on Earth, and let's say they were just separated in a developing nation, you know, as they call it here, I'm sure her life would have been harder than his would have been if he were left there and she got to go on the plane to wherever, because she got the visa. So it made her that, but she wasn't broken. She was always scheming. She always had machinations. And I like that her character had that she wasn't a damsel in distress. She wasn't Princess Leia in the first movie. Now, from our point of view, from this time period, Princess Leia in the original Star Wars seems like a damsel in distress. And that's kind of what her character is based off of. In 1977, I'm sure it was viewed differently because they didn't really have women characters who were taking charge and giving orders like she did in that time. But from our point of view, she's not Ripley. That's what I mean. Whereas this one is closer to Ripley, talking about Alien. Okay, so I like that. I like the fact that at least the way the movie ends, she planned to use this as an opportunity to move up in Crimson Dawn. That's a G move. You have to respect it. I like that. I like the fact that Beckett was aware of that from the jump, because he was true to who he was. He was good at that. Beckett being Woody Harrelson. The only thing I liked about the Hunger Games, I think he played Haymitch, right? Do I have that character name right? Look at me, huh? Knowing stuff. So
franchise.
All right. But I liked him in this because he was believable as a smuggler, right? And I like that they called Solo what he was. At that point, he's the good guy. He was the hero. He liked to be the hero. That's who he was. And that's who his character was throughout. So everybody was true to how they were written, or how they were at least depicted on the thing. Let's get to the depiction that I did not like. I didn't like the feminist robot L337. I needed less of that. Talk about weird relationships, saying happy birthday to Vic's fiance. What was the relationship between her and Lando Calrissian? That's creepy. If we're talking about anything, prequel. I didn't know if she was just one of those robots that they try and sell people on TV nowadays. You know what I mean, with the fake skin or whatever like that. First, she's in love with him. Then I'm thinking, you know, she's a liberator or something like that. The whole trumped up thing when she gets shot, it didn't have the same resonance with me that it did with K2, because that one, at least for me, I actually cared about that character. That seemed like a fully three-dimensional character, K2 did. Whereas L3 just seemed like that trope of, I am woman, hear me roar. It didn't seem real to me. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't saying, hey, from the jump, you know, why am I treated like I don't know as much as anybody else, right? Like, there's a scene when she's talking to Kira in the Falcon, and she's saying, I know these things. I'm seeing this. I see what you're doing. I know this and everything like that. She seemed like she was aware, cognizant, right? And they say that she has the best computing power in the galaxy, hence why they were able to make the Kessel run. But every other time, at least prior to that, we see her just fawning over Lando Calrissian, who shows no interest in her whatsoever. And it's implied that she's been doing that for years. Then when we see her on the Spice Planet, she's all of a sudden, oh, I just got this new idea. It's called liberation. Where are we going? It seemed fake to me. It didn't seem real. Whereas K2 was like, I don't like you from the jump. This is why I don't like you, but you're earning my respect. You've earned my respect. And that's the character arc as far as we see him on screen. So that one to me, as I said again, a three-dimensional character, whereas L3 was like, what are we doing here? Now, another one that I didn't know where we were going, much like in Rise of Skywalker and the other two movies that preceded that one. What's up with the African Queen at the end of the movie with the Raiders? I was not expecting her to be 14 years old. You know what I mean? Was Pippi Longstocking not available? What is going on? You're telling me that she was that bad that she stopped these trained smugglers from doing all of that, yet she wasn't able to just handle business without Han Solo helping her?
She didn't have the super soldier serum.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. She showed up out of nowhere, like as this 14-year-old girl, the same way that girl did in Rise of Skywalker, who, ironically, Lando Calrissian, old man Lando, with his Colt 45 was trying. He said, "Baby, we're gonna find your parents." Baby. That's what he said at the end of Rise of Skywalker. That's how he was talking. That's creepy. Talk about creepy. So I was like, who is this freckle-faced Pippi Longstockings girl? You know what I mean? That's because that's how they describe Pippi Longstockings, right? I was like, who is she? How did she stop these trained smugglers who are so good at their job? You know what I mean? But she needs Han Solo's help, who didn't even beat the Vision. He was beaten by Daenerys Stormborn. So where are we going? Where are we going? This doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I like the battlefield fight that we actually see what a galactic battle looks like, because it looked like a real trench warfare. Everybody was dirty. Everybody was confused. People were scared. That's real to life. It looked like something out of World War I when you see it. And I actually want to see that movie 1919, I think it is. I wish I had gotten to see that in the movie theaters, because it has that same, like, as if you're immersive feel to it. And I did like that. I like the Kessel Run. I like there's certain things the at the end of the movie when he finds Lando and he pretends like he's gonna punch him and then he gives him a hug. It's a callback to Empire Strikes Back when Lando does that to Han Solo and he says, "How are you doing?" He said, "Hey Chewbacca, buddy, oh buddy, how are y'all?" You know, and they're on Cloud City, so that was a nice callback. And again, another thing I did like Beckett and his team. I was sad, even though they had a short screen time with Tandy Newton as his, I guess, wife or girlfriend, and the other people of the team. I liked them. They were likable characters that I never met before in any other Star Wars movie. Again, just like in Rogue One, but they seem real to life. They seem like they had experiences. It was akin to me in Wonder Woman, the band of people that were traveling with Chris Pine's character. I forget the name now, but and Wonder Woman. Steve Trevor, thank you. They were likable people. They were all different. Again, I would have wished that I had more of them. And actually, if the movie didn't have Solo, I think it would have been far better, because my question is this: why did Han Solo have to be in this movie at all? This movie literally is a real life version of episodes from the Clone Wars. Literally, if you've seen the animated series, Crimson Dawn, Darth Maul, why is Han Solo there? There was no reason, in my opinion, for him to be there. And that is the biggest minus to me. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say.
You know what? They could have framed it as a Kira story, honestly, because her story seemed really interesting. Yes. And she already had that big name from, Game of Thrones. It would have sold for sure. So,
and she could have given Han Solo the ship at the end of the third movie.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Why did or lost it to Lando at some point, and we just figure, Han got it from Lando, as they say in Empire Strikes Back. But her story, or whatever happened to her, is far more interesting, to your point, than anything we see Han Solo do. He wandered about aimlessly. I thought he was Ryan Johnson in The Last Jedi. What's going on?
Facts.
He had no direction whatsoever.
Neither did the movie, unfortunately. Yeah. But who would like to go next?
I'm gonna hop on because y'all really shading this movie, and I want to say that I waited with bated breath for this movie to drop. First and foremost, because Han Solo, young Han Solo adventure, sign me up. Okay, Harrison Ford in any George Lucas anything, which obviously this actor studied within an inch of his life because he was definitely delivering a young Harrison Ford for me, is gold. So I was excited to see this. I can definitely agree there was some structural inconsistency in this movie. Definitely couldn't pinpoint the bad guy, and then when the bad guy like appeared, then oh no, this is the real face of Crimson Dawn that we've been hearing from Beckett about all this time that he's terrified of. Not really Dryden. Dryden is just basically a henchman, and I kind of hated that they like reduced Vision to that because the actor himself, he's pretty good. Like, yes. I receive his work with joy. That being said,
over again for me, you receive what?
His work with joy.
That's for another show, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't want to say consume because I thought you were going to take it there, and yet you still did. That being said, we're going to move forward. I took a couple notes because I will say this was my second watch of it. The first time it was in theaters, obviously. First night it opened, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I actually loved that they dove straight into the BS with Han Solo doing something he shouldn't be doing, trying to be the hero. I really loved that because every time we see Han Solo, he's in some shit. And that's what I expected. I love seeing the backstory to him and Landonis. Calrissian's friendship.
Right.
Who's with him? The blackest name I've ever heard.
Landonis.
And
I will give you credit. Donald Glover is a great actor, though. I will say that.
He did a great job in this role, huh? They definitely cast in a role.
Yes.
Everyone did a good job.
Full agree. But yeah, I loved Landonis. Donald Glover definitely studied every film that Billy D. Williams has been in because I saw a little bit of his character from Mahogany in this one too.
Did you notice Diana Ross was in this movie too?
Oh, really? Was she an alien in the background of that card game? Because I think maybe. I've seen it. Yeah, maybe. I did see a couple really cool Easter eggs in the background when they went to free the I guess they didn't go to free everyone on that planet, rather to steal that coaxium. But I saw C-3PO and R2-D2 in the background. Probably not them specifically, but that was
they had protocol droids and everything, and R2.
Yeah, that was a neat little Easter egg in there. Loved. Y'all are gonna hate me so much for this, but I loved L3 so much. I loved seeing a feminist droidist character.
Okay.
Except that it felt like a sassy black robot, but played by a white woman.
Question for you: was that the same woman who played Captain Phasma?
I'm sorry.
Who Brienne, the actress who played Brienne? That was Captain Phasma, but it sounded like her voice as L3.
It was actually I'm not sure about Captain Phasma, but it's voiced by Fleabag's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Interesting actor. Love her look. Didn't love her playing a sassy black woman. And if I could have recasted L3, it would have been Natasha Rothwell, which is Kelly from Insecure. She would have been perfect for this and made a little bit more sense than some random British droid that Landonis kind of has the willies for. That was weird. And another thing that was weird about her is that no one mourned her except Landonis. Everyone just hop next to me and let's fly together, boo. And just kept it moving, like as if she didn't fully lend them, I'm not even gonna say a hand, her full life for them, which was really weird. Yeah, they'd moved right on along without her.
Can I just say this? Sure. I mean, since she was playing a sassy black woman, quote unquote sassy, it would be in keeping with the real world where they don't give a damn if something happens to black women. So,
I'm not gonna say that, but for a non-black woman playing a black woman playing a black droid woman, that actor Phoebe, you did the damn thing because I fully believed it. And there was a little cute WALL-E reference in this one with the release of all the droids and them kind of busting everything up and creating chaos. I love that and love WALL-E. hope we can watch it in the future and review it. Cute little like sidebar. The Calrissian Chronicles. Can they take that and can Ron Howard produce that? Direct that? Because I would totally want to watch anything with Calrissian on it. I'm totally into him. Donald Glover. I could watch anything that he's in, playing Billy D. Williams, playing some other person. I think that's amazing. One thing I really hated about this was that random Lovecraftian alien that was in space. What is that?
It was like an octopus, almost like the Maw by the black hole.
What is the obsession with tentacles? Like, what's happening?
I'd ask Kanji up there.
It's weird.
what it is?
It's very weird. There's
it's
a
like
lot
an ocean thing. People are really fascinated with the ocean, really fascinated with space. So it's like
there's no tentacled aliens in space. The multiple eyeball thing, okay, but a bunch of tentacles just in space, ready to eat whatever passes. I don't get it. It's not a thing. The space is not the ocean, and anything with tentacles really creeps me out.
Yes.
But that's all I got, you guys.
Same.
No, I think good points especially on Donald Glover's points. I didn't say, but I thought he really, and especially in his intro scene, his inflection to get Billy D. Williams was spot on. I really, really did. And I like his obsession with the capes when he talks about, there's a line where he goes, "Not that one, that's a custom piece." And I thought he was talking about Jordans for a second, the way he was like, and they were like red too. Like, it was just so funny to true to life. But that's a good point, I think. Executive, let me guess, are you about to cue something up because you're smiling behind you?
Oh, here we go.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's the moment you have all been waiting for. It's my thoughts. I've been patiently, silently waiting to say what I have to say as these three lovely people actually talked about some of the positives and negatives they have with this movie. And I have to say, just like you all, I agreed with a lot of things that were said, but I come prepared to bring the dignity, right? So the first thing I want to mention is the robot. What's her name? L337.
Yeah.
I see her and I'm like, whoa. I thought the same thing E thought, but I thought no one was going to say it. She sounded just like she could possibly be African, not the stereotype. She could be an African-American woman. And I kept getting this thought from her.
Yeah, exactly.
I kept getting this thought. It was like the same thing. Like, why do I feel that way? So it's like, I like to say, since this person had a crush on this person, let's go ahead and add to that. Because E was right. The only person that mourned her death was him. I was listening to her tell this woman, Kira, like, oh, you can tell me, you can see Lando likes me, blah, blah, blah. I don't like him. I might, but I don't, And I'm like, okay, Lando clearly doesn't like a robot. Then she gets killed. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe there was something there. Maybe she knew what she was talking about. I could be wrong. I have nothing to say. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's your business, right? Whatever you want to, I hope you use proper oil. But I was also thinking at the same time, right, that what if this person got with a robot? Huh? Let's say this one.
Here we go.
Oh, Johnny Five?
Johnny Five. Let's say this person got with this person and created this person, and that's why she actually has emotion, and she wants to go around freeing all the other robots.
She's biracial.
That's just a thought I possibly have. I can see it happening. All right? So instead of calling her L3, we'll call her Jane 3. But look, all right, so that's just one thing, right? Here's my other issue with this movie. I am not a fan of the Fast and the Furious franchises, right? I thought the first one was very good. I thought the other ones, they had good movies in there. But realistically speaking, if you saw Fast and Furious, it's about cars and racing, all that stuff. Where the hell did the Fast and the Furious part go? Now it's just complete ridiculous. It's called, as Vic always says every single week, it's a money grab. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, this movie has to be a money grab. It can't be Solo. I mean, yes, Kira thinks that he's cute. Okay, that's your preference. I'm not going to say anything. Kira was pointless to me. Y'all Game of Thrones fans, so y'all give her a pass. She don't get a pass from me. You're a stupid character. Solo was a boring character. But I saw somebody in there. I was like, oh, my God, take my money immediately. It was this guy right here who decided to pick up a lightsaber just for intimidation factors, like his face ain't going to do it. So I'm like, wow, good job. I can't wait for it to come and F crap up. And then he faded to black. And I'm like, wow, you really wasted my life and time for that scene. He didn't do nothing cool, least like Darth Vader did in the last Star Wars story. Instead, you gave me him doing this and then doing this and saying, "I'll see you soon." Woo! Come to me now. Woo! Oh yeah, he talked. When did he talk
before this?
In Phantom Menace, one of the greatest things about Darth Maul was the fact that he did not talk, actually. That's what made his character more interesting. I think he did have one line. But for the most part, his intimidation was the fact that I have a dual lightsaber and I can F crap up. Now, I'm using my words and I'm intimidating. I don't know what's scarier, okay? The fact that we have predators out there in space. I don't know we have these little creatures that have tentacles out there in space. I don't know the fact that I watched 2 hours and 15 minutes of this movie. I had a very good day at work today. It was the smoothest day since I started this job. And I came home and I relaxed and I got some water, I made some tea. And I'm like, I'm going to watch a good movie because I'm a review with my people, my boys and my friends tonight. And I sat there and I turned a Solo, a Star Wars movie on. And I said, F every single one of y'all for making me watch this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Stay with us. Find out what we're reviewing Thursday and Tuesday right here on Popular Review.
It has begun.
Let's leave to the port.
Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith. For I repentant thou shalt be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and ladies and gentlemen, this coming Thursday, 9:30 p.m., we're going to be reviewing Mortal Kombat from 1995. That's the real Mortal Kombat movie, unlike what these people had me watch earlier, which is in 2021. And then next week, it is James's birthday week, and his birthday present that we're giving to him, which seems like is a Halloween present for me, is The Witch. And already I'm looking at the trailer, I'm like, hey, that does seem scary, but not because the movie seems scary, it's that bad. That's how scary it is. And we're on a trend of bad movies here, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a question. Now, when are you showing The Witch? Because my birthday is the 24th.
I'm showing you The Witch Tuesday.
That's not my birthday. That one is Let the Right One In. But if you want to switch it and put Let the Right One In on my birthday, the Thursday, that's fine. But
you're welcome.
Birthday, for those, I'll put my cash up on the screen next week.
My birthday week is what we're celebrating. For some reason, James gets a birthday week. C gets a birthday week next month. I didn't get a birthday week.
You get an intro. You get your very own segment.
You have cheerleaders in the background behind you. Every episode that you hear clapping for you. Your own
Ladies and gentlemen, we're reviewing Solo Star Wars movie. This is the last one of the Star Wars franchise before we hit up the Disney franchise, Disney Renaissance franchise coming up next month, along with Musical Month, which is coming up next month, where the hosts have to pick a musical. Shoot me now. And it should be a very interesting month. You know, the funny thing about the month of July is the Independence Day is in the month of July, right? So almost everybody became free. But next month is not going to be free for your executive consultant. Let me tell you that right now. We're reviewing Solo Star Wars right now. Please make sure that you turn into UPRE, as we have a lot of good content from the past in there, recasted episodes, and coming out tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, starting on Thursday, we're going to start reviewing the Loki episodes. 2 episodes back-to-back came out, and they'll be reviewed and put out on Thursday. UPRE on YouTube. Final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. See the Superior, you started before, so we're going to start with you. What's your final thought for Solo, a Star Wars crappy story?
All right, so I forgot to mention one scene that I really enjoyed was the fact that Kira got to fight off Vision, and she took the W. Really, I love that she handled herself well. And again, I want to see the movie of her and her life and how she became such a skilled fighter over time and such a hardened woman. I would love that movie. But this movie, I didn't love. I hate to say it. I did not love this movie. It made me long for the days of Hayden Christensen and Anakin Skywalker and Ewan McGregor. But so because of all the things that I mentioned previously, I'm going to have to give the writers in Disney a thumbs down. Not the actors who did a fantastic job, but the writers. Thumbs down. James?
I'll go next unless Dr. Beckett.
You want me to go? Okay. We're switching things up right on the fly. This is live. I call myself Dr. Beckett because Dr. Beckett leaped from life to life, striving to change history when it once went wrong. Anyway, that's from Quantum Leap. That's a great show I used to watch as a kid. And his name was also Beckett. False. I didn't put that on the screen. That's a great series if you ever get a chance to watch it, if you have some taste. This is Solo. And I think, again, minus Solo, it would have been good because there's no reason to have Solo in this movie. They added nothing to it being there. Chewbacca added nothing to being there. Lando added nothing to being there. I'm not saying that the depictions weren't good by the actors. Again, I don't know them and I didn't pay them. So what does it matter? You know what I mean? Please save the tweets and everything like that. I won't be reading them. I don't do that, okay? But what I'm saying is there was no reason for them to be there. Why name the movie after them, except that it is a money grab? And I dislike movies like that. Even if the movie was great, right? It's still a money grab. And that's why it was made. You just lucked out, right? As opposed to there being a genuine story that there was space in the Star Wars universe to tell. It's an entire galaxy, and we keep revisiting the same characters over and over and over again. I mean, who's eating the paint chips? Because it's ridiculous. It's lazy. And for all the money that these writers get to write these things, you're telling me you're going to be lazy and rich? I've been told all my life that that's not how it works. But apparently, clearly it is. So I dedicate myself to laziness. Now, there was a picture that popped up on the screen. No, I'm not talking about the thumbs down to Quantum Leap, which obviously they never watched. But there was a picture of the Vision being choked out by Thanos. Can we put that up if they still have that? Now, in this picture, ladies and gentlemen, you have Thanos on the right and the Vision on the left. Now, Thanos is the image of somebody with balls, and the Vision is the image of somebody without balls. What am I talking about? Because in this movie, the actor, his character had balls. He was a threat, he had power, and he had no superpowers. In Age of Ultron, or whatever one they made Vision, he was supposed to be the baddest dude with the strongest power, second only to Scarlet Witch. Yet we never saw it. All those Marvel movies that you paid money to see, all the talk about the Infinity Stones coming out the forehead, all of that fly jiggy stuff, you never saw. You didn't even see it in Infinity War. When he got stabbed through the back and his wife had to help him, and she was fighting off all those people, and he was like, "Oh, my back, baby, my back, it hurts." You know I can't do nothing if my back go out. Give me that Bengay. He did nothing. And yet we were supposed to cry when his forehead got stomped in and the crystal got took. No, you got caught lacking in Be More somewhere, okay? And that's what happens. Your stuff got snatched. It got snatched. What are we going to do? So again, I like that they actually gave his character some testosterone and he could actually do something. I like that Kira had a reason. She was skilled. She was trained. She knew what she was doing. And she took his position like a boss. That's what you do. That's how you level up. I like that. Solo, did he do a good impersonation of Harrison Ford? I don't know. I guess. Did Brandon Routh do a good impersonation of Christopher Reeve? In my opinion, he did. Yeah, but you know what? It was 2005, not 1977, 1978. That's the problem. It's not 1978 or 1977 in this case. It was whenever year it came out, 2000, whatever, right? Superman Returns was not 1970 something. It wasn't the subsequent films in 82 with Superman 2 or whatever like that. It was in 2005. If you're going to have the same character, right, make sure there's a reason for them to be there. You don't have signature characters in a movie and they do diddly squat. That makes no sense. That's a waste of character, right? Put characters that you don't know that if they do or don't do anything, it doesn't matter. You did that with Rogue One and it made over $1 billion. You care about money, don't you? Right? People like the movie, right? So what else do you need? They did this, a money grab, and look what it did. jack all. And they just happen to look out again to in my point of view with 7, 8, and 9. I'm so glad I'm over this effed up series that they messed up in 7, 8, 9, and Solo. It is a thumbs down. All of a sudden, the thumbs down is lacking. Before it was right on the screen. Now the thumbs down is lacking. Thumbs down.
Thank you, Dr. Beckett. I will take it from here. A few things, guys, and I really had to take these into account because much like you all, there were some issues. Sorry, I have to emphasize with my makeup brush. There were a few things that I just could not let go of, you know, definitely the nostalgia, the sincere longing for a backstory to Han Solo and Chewbacca's friendship. And most importantly, what this movie really is about. It's a love story where a man finally comes into possession of his ship, the Millennium Falcon. There would be no rebellion, well, a successful rebellion, without the Millennium Falcon and without its famous and notable driver, pilot, Han Solo. That being said, a couple things I had to take into account aside from that were that this was the first Star Wars installment that Ron Howard got to direct. If you do know, I had to dig for this because I was like, when I saw Willow on the planet, I was like, what is Willow doing there? So I had to dig into that. And Ron Howard and George Lucas is a match made in heaven. They are a match made in heaven. I think this was long awaited. There was rumors that Ron Howard was asked to direct episode 1, which might have changed the course of the success of that film. And its, I'll say, staying power as well. That being said, taking all of that into account and some of the little Easter eggs in it, the little, hey girl from L3, I'm going to give this a begrudging thumbs up. Begrudging, but acceptable.
Interesting.
Kira, you know, when you said Willow was in it, I'm thinking of a meme that Chrissy and I were laughing about backstage with somebody put Willow on one side. Willow
the singer?
Willow the character. And a certain singer on the left-hand side. And Chris and I were crying about that because it was so messed up.
The internet is horrible.
But I'll have to share that with you.
Was it like a circus mirror situation with that?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. And ironically, you mentioned the group earlier in the episode.
I mentioned the group earlier in the episode who did it. Okay. I'm gonna go back and watch this, obviously. But Executive Champ, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is my final thought. Everybody gave theirs. I think we pretty much know where mine is going to go. I'm not even going to give you the benefits of IMDb.com. I'm going to tell you right now, this movie was terrible. Solo was awful. Solo was boring. I don't understand why they just do this. This is a money grab. I don't understand why y'all give it any kind of credit. There was one interesting character, and it was her. She was the only one interesting, and she was interesting for a cup of coffee, and she died, and I felt absolutely nothing. Why? Because even though she was the most interesting character, that tells you about everybody else. But I did, as I was looking for certain pictures to put up, like Thanos giving a nice choke to Vision. I'm sure he liked it. But like Thanos giving a choke to Vision, I actually found something that was taken out. But it would happen during the funeral of said character that I said I like, and I'm going to read it real quick. Our bodies begged for each other, how our love was consuming us. So he held my face like it meant every promise given to him, how his hands held my body like a fragile flower, how he pressed himself on each petal and the bud slowly began to boom. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman said that to this woman at the end of that movie. Thank you so much for watching it. Honestly, I'm giving this shit a thumbs down because it was a horrible movie. I don't understand how somebody begrudgingly gave it a thumbs up. But you do your thing. You want to see a real movie, watch Mortal Kombat 1995, which, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reviewing on Thursday. See, I don't recall you being there on Thursday. So
thank God. Thank the stars.
you had me watch Mortal Kombat 2021, where
Yeah,
I
that
watched
was a new
somebody.
movie.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Y'all have a good day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. And we will see you on Thursday.
Long live Landonis. Long live Landonis.
Lindonis. Bye. Where's this outgoing thing, Chris?
It's the one that says outro. How about that? It's the one that says outro.
Lord. I can't.
The superior one, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Ah.